On this afternoon, Rod Gallegos is representing Sky Racing. He'll be joining us throughout the afternoon with all of the interviews and late mail. Late mail coming up for race one. Welcome to you, Rod Gallegos.
Well, the man that's going to help us out with the form here today at Fanny Bay on Cup Day is Craig Sant, who helped us out last year, and thanks again for being with us.
Good to be here, Rod. Yep, 12 months on.
Well, what do you come up with in the first?
Number 2, all spent. Rod from the Graham Rogerson camp. Form's been great coming into this. Ran second the Drifter last start. He's the best 2-year-old in the territory, or 3-year-old now. Today gets his chance. Number 2, all spent. From number 1, Not Abandoned. He's the Alice Springs horse. Been set for this race. Hopefully it'll settle handy in the run. That'll be his concern. From gate 1, he might get back a little. And for third, number 5, Enunciate, racing pretty well.
OK, mate. Well, your numbers 2, 1 and 5. You left out the David Bates Nash Street.
Yeah, I thought his last start effort was a little disappointing behind Drifter. His win prior was OK, but I just got a doubt about him carrying a similar weight to the favourite here, All Spent. I thought for a bit of value, Rod, number 7, Chig Whidden for the exotics might be the way to go too. OK,
Craig, thank you. 2, 1 and 5, the numbers. I just rather like that twinkle in David Bates's eye when he was talking about Nash Street. But anyway, we'll see how we go.
Yes, Rod spoke with David Bates before he mounted up for the first race at Darwin, and we'll endeavour to bring you that interview as soon as we can. David is riding Nash Street, number 3, in the first. That's the latest there for Warwick Farm, the Teller's Maiden Plate, over 1,000 metres, where runners are just in the mounting yard. And the favourite...
Well, one of the rarities up here at the top end of Australia is that jockeys can also have a trainer's licence. One of the dual licensees, David Bates, you're riding your horse in the first, Nash Street.
Yeah, he'll show up too, I think, Rod. His last run looked a bit ordinary on paper, but he got in a fair bit of trouble. The start before that, he beat most of these horses, so I think he'll show up for us today.
Tell me this, with your local knowledge, how do you think the track will play today?
The track's been an on-the-speed type of track over the carnival, but I think that's mainly due to the fact that the better horses are racing on the speed. I think if you get back, if you got the right horse, you can still win, but it's not likely.
OK, what about your other rides for the day?
I've got 4 other rides. I've got another one of my own in race 3, Amber Style. She ran second on Wednesday. She should run well in a much harder race, but she drew the 1 early, which will help her. I've picked up a ride in race 2. He raced on Saturday, so I don't know how he'll back up. And I've got a ride on Here's Me Mate in the 1900, and he's racing very well, but he's going to have 3 runs in 8 days, so if he comes through that all right, he's got to be very hard to beat as well.
All right, David, thanks for joining us, and we should point out that you're not going to go and rob a bank, but that's to save the when the sand comes back.
That's to stop me from ducking.
Good on you, David.
Thanks, Rod.
David Bates there, a trainer, jockey, and he's riding Nash Street in race 1.
And he's also picked up the ride on race 2, number 10, City Honours, replacing Neil Payne. And star in race 2, horse 10, is now David Bates. And they're calling them into line for the first race. 1,200 the trip for 3-year-olds. And all spent from the Graham Rogerson stable. Graham's been campaigning a team of horses in the top end for a couple of weeks. All spent. So last couple of runs have been there at Fanny Bay. David Aldred is calling the first race for us. We have a number of commentators at Darwin this afternoon, including Darren Macaulay and Terry Bailey, but it's David Aldred to call the first race, number 1.
Just waiting on Chig Whidden to go forward. Thank you, Mercedes. They're all set here for the first race today. All in line. Chig Whidden completes the line. Starter moving around to come around to his stand. This is the sportingbet.com 3-year-old class 3. 1,200 metres the distance, the Palmerston Sprint distance here at Fanny Bay. First race on Darwin Cup Day. All stand well, red light goes on, racing, getting away to a good start was Enunciate. It won the start, Nash Street from out wide got motoring quickly, so too to the favourite, All Spent in the centre. It's going to go forward, going up towards the lead. Up there on the outside too was Chig Whidden. Over on the rails is Not Abandoned, then came Earring back in the field and Stress Relief drops out to the tail. 850 metres to go past Tally Ho Lodge, and over on the inside, kicking up on the inside is Not Abandoned to hold out the favourite. Not Abandoned's in front of on the outside, Enunciate moving into second. All Spent scrubbed along in third place, a favourite for Chris Muntz. They were closely followed then by Earring, fourth on the rails. Right behind them came Nash Street, and out wide on the track we've got going forward Chig Whitten, and in the centre is Abra coming between runners as they make tracks towards the home corner. On the inside, it's Not Abandoned in front. Throwing down the gauntlet on the outside is Enunciate. Then came All Sped, who's under pressure on the outside, the favourite. They were closely followed then by Abra getting through, and Chig Whitten running on. Inside the 200 metres is Not Abandoned in front. Down the outside, All Sped is finishing strongly. So too is Chig Whitten. Not Abandoned. Abra through in the centre. All Sped flying now. Abra in the centre's got up to win. Abra beat All Sped, tight for third. Enunciate got there just over Not Abandoned. They were closely followed by Chig Whitten, ran a mighty race. A long way back was Nash Street. Then came Stress Relief, and the last one home was Earring. Now stand by for the numbers. 1:10 the time, 1:10 the time. The winner is number 6, will win the race, Abra. Abra in the centre will get home over the favourite, All Spent. Abra was tracking through behind these runners coming to the turn. Nuntz had to work overtime months on the favourite, All Spent. He got going in the last 150 metres of the race, but he didn't pick up the winner, Abra, in the run to the line. Stand by for the official numbers to come into the frame, waiting for the judges' numbers on the first race of the day. The time for the 1200 metres, 1:10.03. Abra is by Lake Coniston out of Stint, trained by Lynn Williams and ridden this afternoon by Michael Cullen. And there it is in the frame. Number 6 is the winner. Number 6, Abra first. Number 2 has run second, All Spent, trained by Graham Rogerson and ridden by Chris Muntz. And third placing to number 5, Enunciate. Enunciate running third for Scott Leckie and Kevin Lamprecht. The margins on the race, a short half head. A short head, the winning margin. So there was nothing in this race at all. A short head at the end of the distance. 3/4 between second and third. And officially fourth goes to number 1, Not Abandoned.
It's a big finish, horses all across the track, but Abra, number 6, one of the locals, hanging on. All Spent and Enunciate. Now the trifecta has paid $317 and the Super Tab trifecta $452. So all totes are in on race 1 from Darwin. Michael Cullen on the winner, Abra, number 6. An upset in the first on Cup Day. Matter today. This is Darwin, where we've had the first race. It was an upset result. Abra, number 6, ridden by Michael Cullen, beat All Spent and Enunciate 6.25, and correct weight is there on race 1. The favourite looks to be Irish Intrigue, number 3, just ahead of 8, View from Above. But there's a lot of hopes in the next at Darwin. Let's join Darwin, where race 2 is coming up in about 7 or 8 minutes' time. And let's get some tips. Here's Rod Gallegos with the latest from the track.
Well, a bit of a blackout in the first. One of the outsiders winning, but we're coming up to race 2. Craig Sant, how do you see it?
Tough race, Roddy. Look, number 3, Irish Intrigue, won the Toyota Cup here back on July 16. He beat a similar lineup. Bevan was in that race, a couple others were too. And I just think from gate 3 over the 1600, he'll get the run of the race and put himself right in the picture. I thought the main danger might be number 5, Bevan. He's a bit in and out, but you'll get a good run and expect him to be finishing strongly. And for third, number 1, Kahuna, top weight with a bit of class. The weight just concerns me there, Roddy, but 3, 5 and 1 selections.
OK, Craig Sant, he likes Irish Intrigue to win the upcoming race, race 2.
All right, well, hopefully punters can get back on track after a blowout in the first. Abra, Michael Cullen won race 1 at $35.80. $4.50 for 1 and 3 here are the equal picks on the tote. Number 5, Bevan, in the upcoming race.
One of the highly successful jockeys here in the territory is Paul Denton, who joins me now. Paul, we've still got happy memories of 1999, wasn't it, on the beam?
Yeah, very happy memories. Hope they can continue today.
Paul, now you're riding one here, number 5, Bevan.
Yeah, Bevan's been very consistent, ran a nice fourth the other day in Open Company. It drops down in class, so a bit of luck he's going to be right in the finish.
And of course you're riding the favourite in the Cup, Solario.
Yeah, Solario, he's a good rider. He won the bun time, the same as on the beam did, and it's proven to be a very good lead-up race, and he gets the distance well, and if he's chasing, it was very hard to hold out.
And tell me, do you have to be handy here on the track today?
Oh, not so much so in the staying races. They have been coming from behind, but being a dirt track, a lot of riders just ride for pace, and it's sort of you've got to be there. But in the staying race, I come from way back the other day in the bun time, and I think I can be giving them 5 or 6 lengths and still pick them up.
So the visiting jockeys like to be up front, but the locals are happy to sit behind.
Oh, we're not real happy to sit behind, but sometimes you have to.
Have to do it. Paul, good luck today, and hope it's a successful one.
Thanks, Rod.
Thank you. Paul Denton, he rides Bevan in the upcoming race 2, the Mercedes-Benz Class 6, and he's on one of the top chances in the Cup, Solario.
The Forbes first 4 on race 2, 1 4 in shortly. Just before they move in, let's go back to Rod there at Darwin.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Well, everyone's here in Darwin, including our form expert from Melbourne, Alfie Matthews. Welcome to Darwin. Love your hat.
Hey, I need a hat. Don't worry about that. Oh, it's fantastic to be here, though. Like, you know, up here on just holiday and having a wonderful time. It's been terrific. It really has.
It is something else, isn't it?
Well, you know, I came out here on Saturday, actually, and they had about 6,500 people, and they said get here early. So I got a cab early. I set Jane up, so we've got our table, everything's sweet, and we're very, very happy and very content.
Alfie, quickly, let's look ahead to the Cup. Do you like anything?
Well, look, I'm going to have something on a horse called Jakovny. Simon Price rides it. Look, its form's respectable for a race like this. Look, they go hard. It's hard to line the form up. It really is, as far as I'm concerned, given the fact that we're from a fair way away. But, look, yeah, it looked all right. I went and had a look at it yesterday, so, yeah, keep our fingers crossed. I'm going to have something on it, though.
Good on you, Alfie. Well, as you said, it is something else here, and nice of you to be here.
Hey, I'm just absolutely loving it, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Alfie Matthews there, all the way from Melbourne. I'll tell you what, this is a big climatic change.
Sure is. He's popping up at a few carnivals, Alfie. He's been to Grafton recently and even further north today. Darren McCauley is our caller for race 2. Here he is.
Irish Intrigue into favouritism. Barrow goes up. Walks to the outside with Rich Otto. Almost set. Gira has the inside stall. Frameworthy is in with Irish Intrigue. Beautifully drawn. They're locked away. Started at the top of the stand for the Mercedes-Benz. Ready. Red light is on. Racing. Gira got the best of the start off the inside. Sealer quickly into stride. He's got the whip early on Irish Intrigue, and here comes Barrow striding over in search of the front shortly after, although he's in danger of being caught wide early. Back fifth is Frameworthy as they hit the first corner, then Rich Otto, which is out wide in company with Kahuna. View from above, back behind them a little worse than midfield. City Honours having to ease back near the inside. Off around them is Bevan, and last of all is Ollie as they go down the back, racing towards the 1100 metre mark. And over on the inside, it's Gira just in front as they pack up with a Sealer going up to hit it. It's a Sealer taken to the narrow lead now from wider out. Barrow going to second. On the inside, Gira quickly improving around them now is Bevan going up running third, but 3 off the fence. A length and a half behind those as they come down the side of the course. Rich Otto being closely followed in the middle by Irish Intrigue, the favourite, then Frameworthy. A length and a half to Kahuna. Off around them, View from above, and Muntz is going to take him wide. On the fence, City Honours, and Dolly is last as they come to the home corner, nearing the 400, and Bevan on the outside had gone to a slender lead. A Sealer the first gone, dropped back through the field sharply, battling on Gira. They come around the home corner though at the 350, and Bevan had gone to the front. Gira kicking back there, 2 clear from Rich Otto running to third. Frameworthy is next, looking for the way through. City Honours through along the fence, and then View from above inside the 200. Gira reclaim the lead. Frameworthy on the fence, and they beat off Rich Otto. It's Gira though in front. hard ridden and coming away. It's Gira clear from Frameworthy. Rich Otto, and Gira is too good. Gira won it by a length and a half. Second home, Rich Otto. Tight for third, Frameworthy or City Honours. In behind them, Bevan, followed by A View from Above. Ollie from last made up some ground, followed further back by Asila. At the head of the others, Barrow pulling up quickly in company with Irish Intrigue, and Kahuna has finished a distant last in the Mercedes-Benz. Well, Gira, number 7, too good for them. Fought back tooth and nail after getting headed around the home corner. The Stephen Brown trained gelding Gira has fought back determinedly, beaten them off, and come on to score here in the Mercedes-Benz handicap. Waiting for full details, Frameworthy, Teresa Perry, getting a lovely run in on the fence, has probably run second ahead of Rich Otto, although there wasn't a great deal between them on the post. In fact, Rich Otto might get second. Scott Leckie from on the fence, Frameworthy number 6. We stand by for full details. They've run 137.54, 137.54 being the time here for the 1600 metres. Gira the winner, a son of Dr. Grace out of Perfect Dancer, trained locally by astute horseman Stephen Brown, ridden by Joel Hallam. Jumped quickly, always on the pace, headed around the corner, fought back, and nothing was going better than Gira in the run to the post. Number 13, Rich Otto, has run second by Bellotto out of Rich Glenn's Classic, owned by S.M. Clark, trained by Gary Clark locally, ridden by Scott Leckie. And third will be number 6, Frameworthy, by Royal Academy out of Ada Slew, raced by D. King, R&R Shaw, D. Daniels and Bevan Holter, trained by Bevan Holter and ridden by Teresa Perry. 7, 13, 6, those are the official placings. Margins are a length and a half by half a length. 1.5 lengths by a half a length, the official margins after the running of race number 2 from Fanny Bay.
Right, Joel Hallam, the winning rider, will be bringing you an interview with Joel shortly, but you certainly handled that one pretty well, Wayne.
It's a bit of raps coming from up the north there about this boy, Matt. I think he's actually the leading rider up there at the moment in the Northern Territory, and there has been a bit of pressure put on him to move down either to Sydney or Melbourne, and I believe he might be doing it after the carnival up there. So I watched him a few times. He does ride very, very well. Very strong in a finish too.
OK, we'll remember his name, Joel Hallam, but as I say, we'll catch up with him shortly and find out a bit more about him. And hear from that young apprentice rider, Joel Hallam.
You've been highly successful here at the top end?
Yeah, no, I've got a pretty good boss, Stephen Brown, so yeah, we've been on the top of the ladder for the last 2 years and things are going good.
And you've been the leading apprentice here?
Yeah, leading apprentice 2 years in a row and leading jockey as well, so.
How old are you, Joel?
I'm 18.
Well, you've got a long way to go. No problem with weight?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a problem with weight, that's why I'm sort of up here, you know. I'm riding 54 today, but yeah, I don't know how light I'll get.
What's your best ride for the program?
I'd probably have to say Palace Lad. He's a quality horse. He hasn't got that much weight, so he should go good.
All right, Joel, well, good luck today and hope it's another successful Darwin Cup Day.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Now that
He's made a bit of a name for himself in the territory is Tim Norton. How long have you been here now, Tim?
This time up, I've been here nearly 4 years, so I've been fairly successful since I've been here. So,
you here for good?
Well, nobody's ever really anywhere for good, but I'm enjoying it while I'm here, and I can't see myself leaving shortly. So, I suppose I'll be here for another couple of years.
It's unbelievable in winter that we're sweating.
Yeah, it's always quite warm up here in the winter. It's only the humidity that changes.
Right, in the third event, you're riding Covet's Gem.
Yeah, Covet's Gem. I rode her last start. She was a little bit slow away and raced a little bit tight, but they haven't done much with her since. And I'm expecting a fair bit from her today.
And Tim, what about the best of your other rides?
I've got my usual old Swampy. He's one of my favourites. He goes around very, very well. He's coming up in the second last. I like him quite a bit.
And what about the Cup? You're riding a horse called the Spunk.
Yeah, the Spunk. Looking at his form back in Tasmania, like he run quite a few good races back there, and if his form holds up here, well, you can expect to see something.
Well, I'm certain that the Spunk finds a great climatic difference between Tassie and here.
Yeah, well, the weather doesn't seem to bother him too much up here, but well, we can only see after the race.
All right, Tim, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Tim Norton, who rides Cupboard's Gem in the third, and he's also in the Cup on the Spunk. Race 3 coming up here at Darwin on Cup Day. It's a Class 4 handicap. Craig Sant, how do you see them in the yard?
Very tough, yeah. They look well. A lot of them ride. Number 8, Secret Missile. I just think his last start effort here in Class 2 was good enough to suggest from gate 4 that he'd be the one to beat. Mick Cullen riding a winner this afternoon. I think he can make it a double here, but it's a very hard race. A lot of speed. I expect 2, 3, 4, 5 and 7 and even 8 ought to press forward. So it's going to be a battle of the fittest, really. I thought number 8, Secret Missile on top. Number 1, Hermit, his first up effort here was great. His form previous in Sydney was quite okay. Carries the big weight, but got to be respected second up here on the track. And for third, number 2, Drifter, he's only a 3-year-old, but he's very classy. It'll be his test this afternoon, but I expect him to race well. But a tough race, Roddy, 8-1-2 in the third.
OK, thanks, Craig Sant. That's his view on the third event, which is coming up soon.
OK, Rod, more from Darwin shortly. Correct way to spoke with Rod.
Well, a man who's travelled a fair way to get here to the Darwin Carnival is Brian Johns. You're based in Victoria.
Yeah, Wangaratta, Rod.
Do you think the climate's slightly different?
Yeah, at the moment it is, yeah. Certainly is, yeah.
Brian, in the upcoming race, the third, you're riding here Smites' Officer.
Yeah, I've ridden him work here. I haven't ridden him in a race. He's gone all right in Townsville, I see, and he's first up, but he probably needs a little bit of distance, and he's drawn outside. So I need a little bit of luck there.
You're going to go forward?
I'll try to, yeah, certainly.
Have you ridden here much before?
A few years ago I came up and had a couple of rides, yeah.
It is something different, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd reckon. Totally different.
Looking forward to the Cup, and you're on one there called El Cabo.
El Cabo, yeah, I rode him in the Buntine and ran third. He got beaten a fair way, but he got home pretty well.
They say it's a very good guide to the Cup.
It is, yeah, so they say, yeah. And he's been around the track now, so hopefully improves. And I've drawn in, so that's a bit of an advantage here, getting into the first turn. So I'll try and be a little bit closer this time.
All right, Brian, well, all the best for the rest of the program, and when do you head home?
Tonight. Unless I win the Cup, I won't be going home.
Well, we hope we see you here tonight.
Thanks.
Thank you. Brian Johns there. He's riding Smites' Officer in race 3, and he's also on Cabo in the Darwin Cup.
Smites' Officers at pretty big odds in this one. He's a long way from home. We often see him ride a lot of winners around Wagga and Albury and, of course, Wangaratta, where they're racing today.
Well, he's planning to party if he wins the Cup anyway, and it's very hard. If you miss a plane up there, it's hard to get on a plane for the next day or two to get out of the place. So
at this time of year, I bet it is.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, well, he's planning a big one, but he's got to win the Cup first, otherwise he'll be on his scheduled flight home. Now, here's a riding change at Wangaratta in race 7. Number 14, King Bull. It's been replaced again. Michael Hegney this time, replacing James Winks. Race 7, number 14 at Wangaratta is Michael Hegney. Coming up next, the third from Fanny Bay. Race 3 at Darwin, and runners are moving in. Value Bet is tipping today, and there is a Value Bet in the next race at Warwick Farm, which is coming up after Darwin. They're moving in well for race 3. Let's head to the track. Darwin.
As is Hermit, Kotara, Palace Lad, Smites' Officer and Queen of the North. A few of them to move in. Palace Lad, the favourite, coming up next. It's into $3.10 now, Palace Lad. On Unitab, Hermit is next along. Smites' Officer in the sponsors' colours for TIO. Still out behind the line with Pops Taurus, Queen of the North, and Kotara, who's about to get ready. Kotara is set. Pops Taurus comes up. And Queen of the North about to join them. And Smites' Officer will be the last. Queen of the North just turning away at the last moment. $3.20 Palace Lad, $5.10 Drifter. Has had good support late, as has number 8 Secret Missile. Queen of the North, $7.90. $8.10 for Amber Style. Rider out of the saddle from Queen of the North. Thanks, Mercedes. 3 to move up. Third event today, the rider out of the saddle from Queen of the North. Smites' Officer is standing back behind the line. $3.30 Palace Lad's been a solid favourite. Pretty good galloper. Be hard to beat. Drifter's had good support late, as has Secret Missile. Queen of the North opened up short and has blown out. And Amber Style has been steady. Now we're waiting for... Well, the rider's out of the saddle from Secret Missile by the look of it. Still behind the line, Smites' Officer. And Secret Missile has been taken out of the gates. Late scratching. Number 8, Secret Missile at 1:20 p.m. in tea time. Bookmakers are asked to rule a line. A betting announcement regarding the withdrawal of Secret Missile will be made following the running of the race. They give you a reason, Ken? No, just a late scratching. No reason. Now, he was in the gates and they took him out, so he's obviously knocked himself in there. Queen of the North about to come up. She's also riderless. Rider out of the saddle from Pops Taurus behind the line. Smites' Officer is still away, and the late scratching Secret Missile. It had good support too, Secret Missile. A very impressive win first start on the track when he beat King's Alley. But something has obviously gone amiss. Now, they're all coming out of the gates by the look of it. Palace Lad is now out. So there'll be a delay. Stand by. Not too sure what's going on, Mercedes, here. They're taking these horses out of the gates, so I don't know what's going on.
Number 11, Pops Taurus at 1:22.
Right, I think that was another late scratching being called out to our caller there. Number 11, Pops Taurus, might be about to be withdrawn. And that is official. The horse has been scratched at 1:22 local time. That's 1:52 Eastern Standard Time. Horse number 11, Pops Taurus, is a late scratching, along with the original withdrawal of number 8, Secret Missile. So two late ones here are 8 and 11. And there's number 10 through the gates. That is Katara. Number 10 who's gone through, but there was an attendant there. I think he might have pulled him through. He might have been in a little bit of trouble himself. So we've got drama at the barriers at Darwin. Terrible when you see them go off and get down in the gates. It must be give you a terrible fright, and the other horses as well.
Especially the horses, Matt, because, you know, there's a lot of metal around the horses and they clang and make a very frightening noise, and it does stir the other horses up a bit because they're that revved up, tuned, waiting for them barriers to open. The anticipation's there, and it's a bit of frightening for them.
Well, that's what happened with Secret Missile, the first one that went off, and it's obviously revved up a couple of others. You can see another one or two climbing up in the gates as well. So it's really caused a domino effect through the gates.
Matt, you can imagine too, they're trying to get a horse in that's difficult to get in, and they're making a lot of noise behind the gates too, and the horses don't know what's happening. They can hear the noise, they're getting stirred up, and just one little bang, a horse might kick because he's getting agitated, and they think it's a barrier opening, and there all sorts of things happen.
What about these ones that are standing in there in the gates at the moment? Is it unfair that they have to wait a couple of minutes with weight on their back while the others are playing up?
It is unfair. A few of the jockeys cheat a little bit. They get off and take the weight off. I used to do that, but there is a rule that you're supposed to stay on their back, but it is very unfair for the horses that do have to stand in there. But the delay that it would cause by getting all the horses out, it's just too much, I think, when you're trying to run on time when there's a lot of meetings on.
All right, well, what's happening now? We've got, I can see 7 still out there, Queen of the North, 4 Amber Style. David Bates is about to take her back up into the in the gates. So we're in the process of calling them in there at Darwin. Now, where do we go after this? Warwick Farm, which is still about 5 minutes away. So we've got a little bit of leeway here before we run into Warwick Farm. Ike's Dreams.
Not happy at all. Starter. He has another good look down the line as Cupboard's Gem has an attendant in there with him. Light on, ready to run.